Well, hey, everyone. And I'm using that word hey on purpose. So, welcome to the Ring of Prosperity, which includes gene keys 16 and 45, the amino acid cysteine, and the physiology where part of the body is thyroid and parathyroid. And what is the Hebrew letter attached to this Ring of Prosperity? It's the letter hey, which is also the number 5. So before I go on talking about this number 5 or hey, I just wanted to make a few comments about the correlation of the amino acids to the Hebrew alphabet and even the amino acids to the hexagrams. If you do your own research, say you feel like researching, how does this all work, and you want to do your own research into the Hebrew letters, you will find several, at least a couple, different correlations of amino acids to the Hebrew alphabet as well as hexagrams. And from what my research has shown, that there is no consensus among the scholars on to which one is correct. I think that all of them are correct. It just depends on how you're viewing it and what are you using it for. So as far as the Hebrew alphabet and the amino acids, I'm using the ones that I was guided to, and in looking at the gene keys and comparing, they fit really nicely. Sometimes it's not really obvious, but sometimes it is. And so they fit very nicely. This one fits very nicely. So if you felt like the other ones didn't fit, it's just that we haven't looked deep enough, right? These are huge archetypal essences that when they come down into the world, a form, changes. And so isn't always obvious. Also, just like the gene keys, the Hebrew letters are holographic. And so one letter creates the other letter, creates the other letter, creates the other letter. So it's just like the Russian doll. It takes all of the Hebrew alphabets, it takes all of the amino acids to make up the human body. So every letter, all of the letters would fit each of the gene keys or hexagrams. So just wanted to say that if you do your own investigation, you might find that cysteine isn't connected to the number 5, it's connected to the number 6. But in the Hebrew alphabet, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 are so tightly wound together and interrelated that you almost can't separate them because they mean a lot of the same thing, and one begets the other. So no worries if you do your own research and you think, oh, they've made a mistake. No, there's just different correlations out there. So I just wanted to put that out there. And that's that. That's my PSA for the day, public service announcement. So let's move on to the letter hey. Now, this letter hey is associated with the Ring of Prosperity. And I know in the gene keys in the 16, it talks about versatility, talents, mastering skill, and mastery, being versatile in life, and perhaps innovating new things. And the 45 talks a lot about monetary systems, money, and new systems, and how we use money in the future. But I think that you will find through this letter hey that true prosperity can only come from our ability to receive higher knowledge, higher inspiration, and using that inspiration and taking action with it into the world, creating something new, having a revelation, having a new talent, receiving a new talent or skill, but using it out into the world. So in this respect, the hey and prosperity means the ability to receive higher knowledge and inspiration from the higher worlds. Okay, so let me share my screen and we will take a look on here at the letter hey. All right, so let's move here first. So hey, this is the letter hey. There are several spellings, H-E-Y, H-E-H, and H-E-I. Hey, as we said, is connected to the throat. And the visual isn't so clear to see, but hey represents a window. And it says, this window says, "Lo and behold, take this knowledge from God and receive it within your consciousness." Hey represents creation. And this letter Hey is created from the previous letter, the fourth letter of the alphabet, Dalet, and the 10th letter of the alphabet, Yod. And the fourth letter, this thing right here, this side, represents the physical world, and the 10th letter represents the world to come. So it's bringing new ideas or knowledge, skills, and talent into the world to create something new, creating a new world to come. So Hey brings together mind and matter, the flame or the essence into the vessel, and the wave in the particle. It is also taught that because the fourth letter makes up the fifth letter, and the fourth letter is made up of the third letter. I know this is confusing, but you can see how they're so connected, that the third letter of the Hebrew alphabet is about to give. And since it makes up the fourth letter, which also makes up the fifth letter, 5 also, or Hey, also represents the unification of receiving and giving. So this is also representing prosperity. You receive something, but you give it out to the world, okay? We can say that Hey holds the mystery of creation. Hey also represents the terrestrial woman and the creative active force. Hey is the throat, the uterus, the womb, the place of creation. Now, the formation of the Hey, this horizontal line, represents the body of will, which is also known as the causal body, or the thoughts, having divine thoughts, receiving divine thoughts. And this right vertical line represents our mind and the ability to speak. So it's thought, speech, and this over here represents action, taking action in the world via our emotional body or feeling consciousness, that we need the energy of the emotions or the feeling energy to create what we have received from the higher worlds. So thought, speech, and action. Hey is also an extremely important number. It is used, I'm going to switch pictures here. It is used twice in the unspeakable name of God, also known as the Tetragrammatron, which is, this is the Tetragrammatron. You've all seen it with the YWH, you've seen it, YHWH, which is known as Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. And remember, Hebrew is read right to left, Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. 10, 5, 6, 5. And the first two letters represent the higher worlds. The number 6, representing the spine, is the connector or the bridge. And this second Hey represents bringing the creative information, inspiration into the world of form. So there you go. So the number 5 also represents as above, so below. Let's see what else. In the, so this name, this unspeakable name, Yod He Vav He, is also known as Yehovah. Yehovah, Ha, it ends in an H. And in the Hebrew alphabet, in the Hebrew language, any word that ends with the letter H, He, means that it is feminine. So in the Hebrew tradition, God is feminine. Now, all of us women knew that, so we are now just proven correct. No, just kidding. But we also, so we have Elohim, which is gods, which is masculine, but we have Eloha, which is feminine, the goddess, meaning the feminine divinity. So there you go. Let me see. He is also the feminine aspect of the Trinity. She is the Holy Spirit. And I think I'll stop sharing now. So this is such a beautiful, it's such a beautiful, I don't want to say word, it's beyond words, but this symbol, but also just toning or internally speaking, Yod, He, Vav, He, can be very transformative. This is the unspeakable name of God. Yod, He, Vav, He. Okay, so I'll stop share. Sorry if you're hearing my stomach growl. It always seems to happen when I'm doing these videos. What else does the number 5 represent? So the number 5 also, or He, also represents the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is 5. And 5, because it represents the 5 souls. This is how the Hebrew tradition talks about it, the 5 souls of man. But what they're really talking about is the physical level, the instinctual level, our sexual creative force, and how do we use that? Do we spill it out, or do we use that creative energy to cleanse our vessel, to cleanse our thoughts, to cleanse our psyche, and then to create something new, to receive consciousness in the body? The 4th level is called the Divine Mother Death, which represents the Kundalini that comes along and annihilates the ego. But it also, when Kundalini rises, it also annihilates and gets rid of our astral body. So in the Gene Keys speak, our attraction body actually begins to dissipate. What is the word I'm looking for? Goes away and would be taken over by the Buddhic body, the higher emotional body. So that attractor sphere goes away, much like the life's work and evolution spheres go away upon awakening. I'm getting off track. So the 4th level is our emotional body, the Divine Mother, and Kundalini, our individual Kundalini, that the Divine Mother of Death that annihilates the ego. The 3rd level would be the mental, intellectual, and body of will causal body, which they talk about being our own individual mother, the 3rd He. The 2nd He is called Mother Nature, but that would be, I would say, closer to the Buddhic or monadic level, because now we're at Mother Nature. We are at where there's no space and time, and that the first Divine Mother is space. And I would say that that would be the Logoic level, maybe monadic and Logoic. So those are the 5 He's that make up the Divine Mother in every man. Okay. He represents purity, celibacy meaning not using the sexual creative force just to spill it in our pleasure, but using it in the right way. And it represents transmission of wisdom and speaking in tongues. Perhaps not necessarily speaking in tongues, but channeling or bringing new information, using your voice, your mouth, your throat, toning to bring through channeled tones. So how does that relate to you? In a more practical level, let's say in the soul contract level, what does this number 5 mean to you in a practical level? So if you had this number, let me move some things around, in your soul contract, or perhaps you're very attracted to the number 5. I have 5 in my soul contract, and all of this resonates completely. It's so me. Anyway, so In the positive or the talented practical aspect, how a human being might experience number 5 is that in the positive, it holds the archetypes of the Hierophant, the Hierophant, the leader, the light bearer, the truth seeker, the illuminator, the visionary. It has qualities of clarity of perception, high levels of perception. High levels of perception are open to you, higher levels of reality, the quiet not mind, compassionate, odd and childlike. So people with 5 in a prominent position in their soul contract or in their life, while they have they're very open and visionary and illuminated, they also have childlike qualities, whimsical, they're silly, they're odd about things because they have this open mind. They're not stuck on concepts, okay? There's no rigidity. Everything's fun and silly to them. So, and they're very compassionate because the level of understanding that they can receive from the universe is quite impressive. So moving on, they can be fun. They are really good at nonverbal communication, picking up nonverbal communications. They have penetrating insights. They are non-attached. They are very aware, always aware of surroundings, like they can just be sitting there, but know everything that's going on, hear every sound, smell, all senses are going off. This is in the talented position. And they can be a little unusual, a little quirky, think Einstein. And they're very able to be alone without being lonely. So those are some of the talented qualities. What else? Your mind is, moving more on the talents, their mind is open and ready to receive. They're not empty minds, but they're open and ready, always open, ready to receive. If you have this in your soul contract, you are an out of the box or out of the window thinker, highly creative, highly intellectual, can become a master of many things or one thing, and you will be known for new revelations you bring about that one thing. Your insights, you'll take that one thing and make it new in the world. So this is very much like the 16th gene key. The 5 in the gene keys is also about the throat. So toning, channeling, speaking will be areas of strength. This is also, the 5 is the energy of teachers of spiritual knowledge, teachers who teach the teachers higher wisdom. These people are highly intuitive, sensitive, picking up on insights that go beyond the norm, and the ability to see how all systems work together. Like they could just get oh, they're all connected and I get it, right? And they can unify those systems. Oh, so they're all connected, but how can we use them all? In particular, with this open-mindedness and all intellectual understanding revelations coming to the 5, it can also be very, very comfortable in not knowing and the willingness to explore new things. I'm sorry, my stomach is growling. To explore new things and welcome change. So they're very kind of versatile, flexible in this talented position. However, in the shadow position, the 5 can get a little cranky and a little weird. So what would that look like? The 5 can be very high strung, stuck in mental rigidity, stuck in a box, mentally and physically, meaning that they can become unsocial. They are not comfortable outside of their norm, their home, their family. They have social anxiety. Anything outside of their known world is much too scary. They can be overly sensitive because the 5 feels everything, right? Um, they can become overly sensitive to their environment. Everything causes an allergy, a headache, smells, sound, you name it. They can't handle it, so they're environmentally sensitive. Um, Closed, rigid thinking. They get stuck in concepts. They don't believe much of anything beyond what they can see, smell, and touch. So any woo-woo thinking is way outside of their comfort zone. Um, what else? They can withdraw from life, and whatever they're working on, they can always, it's like they keep fine tuning it. They'll never finish a project or information. They're always fine tuning, you know, it's never enough. They become way too detached from life, and they are always wondering, what if this happens? What if? So they become like a little neurotic, reclusive, secretive, absent-minded, impulsive, can be mean, scornful, cynical, ignoring physical needs. You know, they can be disheveled. They come out of the house, they go out somewhere, their hair's not brushed. So these are all kind of the qualities of the shadowy five. But I hope you remember all the good qualities of the healthy five, which is such a beautiful, beautiful letter. And I highly recommend, you know, if you're ever in the need for wisdom or revelations or inspirations, that you go ahead and bring that hay into your throat. Visualize the hay. The horizontal and vertical line would be on your right. You can bring it in your throat and into your womb, because we want to receive the idea and have the ability to take action into the world with that new inspiration. So, hey, there's the number 5 and the ring of prosperity. And I wish you all higher wisdom and higher creative inspirations into your life. Until next time.